Oh, okay.
No, we have done till 48. 49 we have
40.
done.
Okay, 48.
49 we have done. All right.
No, 49 we have not done.
So much we are going to revise it. Isn't it? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Yarayam Spityalam Chaivanutamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Viram Nashmitaya Shvadhyatirisu Nityam Bhagavatasya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashkuti Om Adhyana Vasya Dhyanjana Shivashaya Chakshurunaritam Yena Tasya Shri Gurave Shri Chaitanya Vishwasthitikalina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyan Vidati Swapadantam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sagna Jatam Sahaganaraganatam Vitam Panisajeevam Sadhatam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahaganaragata Shri Shakam Vitamsya Yek Yakaruna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpatu Gopika Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurani Shibham Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Vanchakal Kattu Asya Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavi Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Hare
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare Rama 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 Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prabhupada Shri Girirajaya Swami Subhadra Daras Guru Previous chapter Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prabhupada Shri Girirajaya Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shri Vali Kasra Mukham Karanti Vacha Tamaham Bande Shri Guru Devi Hare Krishna. So we are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, the history of the life of Gajamani. So that was a long discussion about who's punishable and who's not punishable. And discussion was going on. The idea is that we don't realize how karma is accumulating, but we can understand that karma is accumulating, and then it manifests when the cycle turns, the cycle of time turns. So the example is given of spring is like just as springtime in the present indicates the nature. Yeah. Can you mute your Can you mute yourself? Mirabai?
Yeah.
You can mute yourself. Okay, thank you. Everybody, can you mute yourselves because Shikar. all of you on Wednesday, so I can see you face to face. So, yeah. So this is like, like all of this is knowledge. This is knowledge. How that's a person is behaving in a particular way, and it is expected that the person will behave in this way because last time when he was in this situation or she was in this situation, she behaved or he behaved in that way. So the example is given as spring. Just as springtime in the present indicates the nature of springtimes in the past and future. So this level of happiness and distress or mixture of both gives evidence concerning the religious and irreligious activities of one's past and future lives. So if we find somebody behaving in a particular way, we should know that it's something he has been doing. He has been doing since a long time. Year after year, he's doing the same thing, right? And therefore, it continues life after life. He or she is doing the same thing. And therefore, the reaction is coming back again and again in the same way. So this is the whole mystery of law of karma and how it deposits itself in the consciousness and make us behave in a certain way. So our past and future are not very difficult to understand, for time is under the contamination of the three modes of material nature. So time is under the contamination of the three modes of material nature. As soon as spring arrives, the usual exhibition of various types of fruits and flowers automatically becomes manifest. And therefore, we may conclude that spring in the past was adorned with similar fruits and flowers and will be so adorned in the future also. Our repetition of birth and death is taking place within time. So meaning that in 1 year, if we now that the hint is being given, so we can observe our own behavior. Let's say, you go to a party. That part. It's the way you have been behaving since before, right? That's how when we see in the society of devotees, as soon as they meet, they have the same mood as they used to have 10 years ago or 20 years ago on the past life. They will behave exactly the same way, right? So our repetition of birth and death is taking place within time and according to the influence of the modes of nature. So party time means relax, right? It's not like Bhagavatam time, you will have a different mood. But if you go somewhere else, when we are socializing, so you have another mood. Because like here, you're being trained. Like we say, Bhagavatam class means these are the rules. We would like to see you. We would like you to have pen and paper. We would like you to have your book in front of you, right? This is what is expected, right? So our repetition, so meaning that is that time. Are you able to follow this? Prabhupada is explaining here. I'm giving an example. Our repetition of birth and death is taking place within time. And according to the influence of the modes of nature, let's come beginning. Our past and future are not very difficult to understand, for time is under the contamination of the three modes of material nature. Meaning that at that time, this is what I do. At this time, this is what I do. The next time, this is what I do, right? So even your everyday routine is following the three gunas. For example, night comes and it is tamas, right? So from 9 o'clock onward, we start to fall asleep, right? So this is what we do. So it's expected that everybody between 9 and 10, now in Bombay, it goes till midnight, it's expected that people will go to sleep. So meaning time is affected by the mode of tamas, right? And during the day, people want to work. right? It is Rajas. From 10 o'clock, it's a Rajagun that is kicking up very fast. Right? So we want to work, we want to do this, and then we relax, we take a break, like all of you have taken a break from your cooking and whatever, because we have fixed that for 1 hour between your cooking and your lunch, we are taking this 1 hour to have a Bhagavatam class, right? So it's expected that next Monday, you will do the same thing. And the next Monday, you will do the same thing. And the next Monday, you will do the same thing, right? So this is how you can predict. So meaning that last Monday you did it. Next Monday you will do it. And next Monday also you do the same thing. Similarly, from past life, we have been doing things at different times of the day or different times of the year. And this is how, so Prabhupada is saying, so our future is predictable. Right? Our repetition of birth and death is taking place within time, and according to the influence of the modes of nature, we are receiving various types of bodies and being subjected to various conditions. Meaning that what am I doing with my life? And so this is something that is within our control. So here's the story of Ajamil. He started as a young Brahmin boy. He started as a young Brahmin boy, but he ended up as a default. Right? In one life only. He was not a default in his previous life. For him to take birth in a Brahmin family means he must be having some type of Brahminical culture. That's the only reason. Just like a mango tree produces mango. So expected that in a Brahmana family, you expect a Brahmana to be born. But he got contaminated. His mind got contaminated by lust. Rajogun. So that contamination now led him to do wrong things. Completely wrong things. Are we able to understand this? This is how the law of karma, the law of contamination works. We have spoken about this avidya, bijam, bhutam, papam, and then prarabdha and aprarabdha, and then the whole cycle starts again. So then, yes, the omnipotent Yamraj. Now, the omnipotent Yamraj is as good as Lord Brahma, meaning the creator. Meaning the creator, if he has created us, meaning he knows exactly where we are living. In this world, does anybody know where you're living? In your country. Does anybody know where you're living? Is there anybody who knows where you're living? Does anybody know where you're living?
Only all relatives may know.
Oh, is it only your relatives?
Friends, relatives, our own people will know.
Devahuti, does anybody know where you are living? Is there any one person who has to know where you are living?
Any one person who has to know. I think many people know who living, because if we keep our location on Google, half the world knows where we are at the current moment.
You should know that your house is registered. Okay?
The registrar, definitely, yes.
Isn't it?
Mataji, you're muted for a minute. You have to repeat.
Muted. You can hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
I just stopped speaking. I wasn't mute, I wasn't speaking. I'm just letting you think. So the government knows where you live, right? Lord Brahma is the creator of this universe. He knows where you're living.
You mean to say in which body we are?
He knows where you're living.
Okay.
He has created. He has created this entire world. And he knows exactly where you are. Each and every one of us. It's recorded. It's not just any, nothing is haphazard. He creates the jivas. The jivas are all individuals. They're sent in this creation and they're placed in different sthanam, right?
Okay.
So, the omnipotent Yamaraj is as good as Lord Brahma. All right. He's situated in his own abode or in everyone's heart like the Paramatma. He mentally observed the past activities of the living entity and thus understands how the living entity will act in future lives. All right. So his, his documents are all there. So he knows exactly who that person is. He has been doing this for so many lifetimes and will continue to do the same thing. Right? So, Yamaraj is as good as Lord Brahma, meaning that Lord Brahma has created and placed you in a certain place. Right? Certain house, certain body, everything. And along with Lord Brahma is coming who? Yamaraj. Because Yamaraj has to kill your body, right?
Mhm.
Isn't it? The Yamaduta are removing the soul from the body of Ajamil. So Brahma is creating, all right? And Yamdut, Yamaraj, his work is to kill that body. Isn't it? How does he kill the body? He removes the soul from the body. Right? You're able to follow this?
Yes. Yes.
Right. So before he goes to take that soul, he already has our document. Right? So here, say that for one situated in his own abode, Yamaraj is situated in his own abode. We are sitting in our house. And our turn has come to be removed from the body. All right? So, he is like the Paramatma. So, the Paramatma is in our
Heart.
Atma. All right? Atma and Paramatma. And the record has been kept by who?
Yamraj. Chitragupta.
The record of our activities and the future destination has been given by who? Recorded by who? According to this verse.
Yamraj or Chitragupta?
Yamaraj,
Yamraj.
According to who?
The super
Brahma.
soul.
Soul.
super soul,
The super
Paramatma.
soul.
Paramatma.
The super soul, the Paramatma. Record has been given and this is being passed on to who?
Yamraj.
Yamraj. All right? It's being passed on to Yamraj. So he mentally observes the past activities of a living entity and thus understand how the living being entity will behave, will act in future lives. So here comes, so the Paramatma is giving the information to Yamraj and his mind is recording. He's understood that this person will behave in this way, this way. Therefore, he will be sent in this place. All right. So purport. One should not consider Yamaraj an ordinary living being. He's as good as Lord Brahma. He has the complete cooperation of the Supreme Lord who is situated in everyone's heart. And therefore, by the grace of the super soul, he can see the past, present, and future of a living being from within. All right? Okay, this is what Prabhupada said. Last week we spoke about this. So I'm just revising. The word anumimamsate means that he can decide in consultation with the super soul. All right, so Yamaraj is, so Yamaraj at the end of the day, he's a jeev, right? And everybody knows that the jeev can know what's going on in his own body, but he cannot know what's going on in somebody else's body. But who knows? It is the
Super soul.
super soul. The super soul knows. So the super soul is giving the information to Yamaraj. And Yamaraj is taking the action to where to send this person. Anu means following. The actual decisions concerning the next lives of the living entities are made by the super soul. And they're carried out by Yamaraj. I think last week we had spoken about this. I'm just revising.
Yes.
Please, Text 49. यथा व्यस्तमसयुक्तः उपास्ते व्यक्तमेव हि न वेदापूर्वम् उपारम्
Janma smritis tatha.
Devabhuti, you can read?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Translation. As a sleeping person acts according to the body manifested in his dreams and accepts it to be himself, so one identifies with his present body, which is acquired because of his past religious or irreligious actions, and is unable to know his past or future lives. Purport. A man engages in sinful activities because he does not know what he did in his past life to get his present materially conditioned body, which is subjected to the threefold miseries. As stated by Rishabh Dev in Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.4, Nunam Pramata Kurte Vikarma. Nunam Pramata Kurute Vikarma. A human being who is mad after sense gratification does not hesitate to act sinfully. Yat Indriya Pritya Aparnoti. He performs sinful actions simply for sense gratification. Na sadhu manye. This is not good. Yata atmano yam asanna api kleshada asha deha. Because of such sinful actions, one receives another body in which to suffer, as he is suffering in his present body because of his past sinful activities. It should be understood that a person who does not have Vedic knowledge always acts in ignorance of what he has done in the past, what he is doing at the present, and how he will suffer in the future. He is completely in darkness. Therefore, the Vedic injunction is tamasima. Don't remain in darkness. Jyotirgamaya. Try to go to the light. The light or illumination is Vedic knowledge, which one can understand when he is elevated to the mode of goodness, or which he transcends, or when he transcends the mode of goodness by engaging in devotional service to the spiritual master and the Supreme Lord. This is described in the Shvetasvatara Upanishad 6.23. Yasya deve para bhaktir yatha deve tatha guru tasyete kathita hi arthaha prakashante mahatmanaha. Unto those great souls who have implicit faith in both the Lord and the spiritual masters, all the imports of Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed. The Vedas enjoin tat vijnana artham sagurum eva bhi gacchate. One must approach a spiritual master who has full knowledge of the Vedas and be faithfully directed by him in order to become a devotee of the Lord. Then the knowledge of the Vedas will be revealed. When the Vedic knowledge is revealed, one need no longer remain in the darkness of material nature.
Yes, so let's examine this. So first thing Prabhupada is saying that why do people engage in sinful activities? Because they do not know that they have got this material body due to sinful activities as it is. They just, I mean, we didn't know until we studied in Prabhupada's books and very, very basic things that we had to be told. We were not at all conscious. For example, now very easily people eat meat. So it's not that there was no eating of meat in previous times, but it has become like a shop. Like meat is readily available in shops, which was never the case. So why dare they open meat shops? You know, specifically in the Vedic society, like the present Vedic society, what we call Hindus. How is it that they dare open slaughterhouses and shops, meat shops everywhere? Because they have become ignorant of the fact that sinful activity produces results. A man engages in sinful activities because he doesn't know what he did in his past life to get his present conditionally with body, which is subjected to the threefold miseries. So he has performed those sinful activities in his previous life, meaning he's born, he likes to eat meat. So when he's born again, he automatically eats meat. And he doesn't hesitate, he just go buy meat from the shop. So, Nunam Pramata Purute Vikarmas. He's so mad, so the taste of meat has caught him so badly that every day he wants to eat meat. So it's madness, Pramata. Nunam Pramata Purute Vikarma. A man, a human being who's mad after sense gratification does not hesitate to act sinfully. So even when you will tell the person you are doing wrong, you should not eat meat because you are causing harm to another jeev. They are not able to hear because they've had the taste for sense gratification, which comes from the taste of meat. Na sadhu manye, this is not good. Why? Because of such sinful action, one receives another body in which to suffer as he's suffering in his present body because of his past sinful activities. So why is it that we are suffering now? Let's say we get a bad disease and we think we are eating all healthy, right? So why is it that I'm getting a bad disease? This is the result of my previous life sinful activities. But I don't know why I'm suffering. So it should be understood that a person who does not have Vedic knowledge always acts in ignorance of what he has done in the past. Meaning that if you don't have Vedic knowledge, whatever sinful activity you were doing in the previous lives, you will continue to do the same. Are you able to follow this? And this is the world today. So therefore, Prabhupada said this Kali Yuga is very dangerous, extremely dangerous, because without hesitation, people are committing sinful activities. So what to do? What to do? How do we break that cycle? Shikala, how do we break this cycle?
By engaging ourselves in the service of Krishna, Lord, accepting Guru.
Explaining what is the first thing that we have to do.
Try to go to light, illuminate ourselves with Vedic knowledge, and to get
We
that
must-
knowledge.
The first thing we have to do is we must study the Vedic scriptures. If we don't study these books, we will never know about there is a past life and that there is reaction to past life. So if you remain in this darkness, so without hesitation, we break the regulative principles. Meat eating, intoxication, gambling, and illicit sex. Without hesitation. So then the next point Prabhupada is making, this is quoting from Shweta Shvatar Upanishad. So this is to break the cycle of sin. So that's why when we take Diksha, the Guru says, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex, because these are the very cause of our suffering. All these varieties. These are sinful activities. So here Prabhupada is saying that therefore the Vedic Shastra enjoin that Vijnanartham Sadgurum even Vigachet. So the Vedas and Guru who is teaching the Vedas is making us aware that if we engage in sinful activities, this will be the result. So we should know who we are. Yeah. Shikala, you can continue.
I have in Hindi, Mataji.
Ananda Vilasini, can you continue?
Yes, Mother. According to his association with the material modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, a living entity gets a particular type of body. The example of one who associates with the mode of goodness is a qualified Brahmana. Such a Brahmana knows past, present, and future because he consults the Vedic literature and sees through the eyes of Shastra Chakshu. He can understand what his past life was, why he is in the present body, and how he can obtain liberation from the clutches of Maya and not accept another material body. This is all possible when one is situated in the mode of goodness. Generally, however, the living entities are engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. In any case, one receives an inferior or superior body at the discretion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma. As stated in the previous verse, Manaseva Pure Deva Purva Rupam Vipasyati Anumemasate Purvam Manasa Bhagwan Ajar. Everything depends on Bhagwan or Ajar, the unborn. Why doesn't one please Bhagwan to receive a better body? The answer is Ajanas, Tamasa, because of gross ignorance. One who is in complete darkness cannot know what his past life was or what his next life will be. He is simply interested in his present body. Even though he has a human body, a person in the mode of ignorance and interested only in his present body is like an animal. For an animal, being covered by ignorance, thinks that the ultimate goal of life and happiness is to eat as much as possible. A human being must be educated to understand his past life and how he can endure for a better life in the future. There is even a book called Brahmu Samhita, which reveals information about one's past, present, and future lives according to astrological calculations. Somehow or other, one must be enlightened about his past, present, and future. One who is interested only in his present body and who tries to enjoy his senses to the fullest extent is understood to be engrossed in the mode of ignorance. His future is very, very dark. Indeed, the future is always dark for one who is grossly covered by ignorance. Especially in this age, human society is covered by the mode of ignorance, and therefore everyone thinks his present body to be everything, without consideration of the past or future. Hare Krishna.
A Brahmana. Right, a Brahmana, because he's studying the Vedas, the Vedic literatures. So he's aware that he has a life, a past life, karma, and therefore he behaves in such a way that he can free himself. But others, they are, because they're ignorant, so they put themselves in a very dangerous position, an extremely dangerous position. So he is in complete darkness. He doesn't know his past life and he doesn't know his next life also. He's simply interested in, let me enjoy now because this is the now, right? So he doesn't realize that he can only enjoy according to how much he has been allotted. He cannot enjoy more than that, right? So his body is fixed by his own deeds. So Yamaraj is judging and giving him his next body. So here Prabhupada is saying that everybody, a human being must be educated to understand his past life and how he can endeavor for a better life in the future. So this 5-year-old child, Arched, what Prabhupada says, yeah, Kumara Acharitra Dharman Bhagavatam Iha Durlabham Manusham Janma Tadapi Adruvam Arthadam. Disparity in human. No. Srimad Bhagavatam should be introduced also in the schools and colleges, for it is recommended by a great student, devotee Prahlad Maharaj, in order to change the demoniac face of society. So what is this verse saying? Whose verse is it?
प्रहलाद महाराज
Yes.
वो कहते हैं कि 5 साल की उम्र से ही हमें भक्ति करना चालू कर देना चाहिए, क्योंकि तब से
Yes.
हम इंद्रियां थोड़ी
Yes.
थोड़ी हमारी डेवलप होने लगती है.
Yes. So,
So,
yeah, so now here it comes. So that's why I think we mentioned last week, that when a child is born, so this is why the Janma Patri was done. So here Prabhupada speaks about that. Brigu Samhita, which reveals information about one's past, present, and future lives, according to astrological calculations. Somehow or other, one must be enlightened about his past, present, and future. One who is interested only in his present body and who tries to enjoy his senses to the fullest extent is understood to be engrossed in the mode of ignorance. He's so ignorant, he doesn't hesitate to do the same mistake that he's been doing since so many lifetimes. That's why it is so difficult to teach to people, to make them change, because they're stuck in their habits since lifetime and they don't want to give it up. Just don't want to give it up. That's for all of us also. We may not be gross, but we have our subtle body which is stuck somewhere. So that's why we are reading Bhagavatam, we are chanting, we are engaging in all the different angas of bhakti to break that samskar. Samskar. And actually what happened, one girl, her family, they're Brahmin family, they're all astrologers. So they told me that, yes, so every child, this Janma Patri is done, it's done as a matter of formality and then thrown away. just a question of formality. Okay? It's done and then put away because nobody wants to read. Nobody wants to know what are your tendencies. They don't want to face it. Only when you're suffering, then you take your Janma Patri, you run, give me remedy. Before you ask for remedy, right, quick pill, you should behave, you should learn how to behave so that the fruit doesn't, the seed doesn't fructify. You understand this? We should not allow the seed to fructify. And that's the whole training. But of course, here you find the horror what happened to a Jamil. Good, very good training, but bad association. Bad association. And his sinful desires fructified to such a point that he became totally degraded. And this is the history, like after this whole plane crash, so all this on YouTube, so many suddenly plane stories come pop up. 50 years ago, that plane crashed. That was why I saw this one plane that was somewhere in the US. And you could see how these young boys, like Prabhupada said that they are Kshatriyas, sons of Kshatriyas. You could see how these beautiful young boys, like how they were engaging in sinful activities. Right? And they do it naturally and automatically. Why? Because there is no Vedic knowledge. It's following in the same trend, isn't it? Because our own children, we don't take the trouble to teach them. So therefore, they commit sinful activities. Somehow or other, one must be enlightened about his past, present, and future. Interested only in his present body and who tries to enjoy his senses to the fullest extent is understood to be engrossed in the mode of ignorance. His future is very, very dark. Very, very dark. So that's how we find people so miserable. From one sinful activity, you run to the next one, to the next, to the next. Indeed, the future is always dark for one who is grossly covered by ignorance. Especially in this age, human society is covered by the mode of ignorance. And therefore, everyone thinks his present body to be everything without consideration of the past or future. So this is not a pleasant, what we are reading right now is not at all pleasant. It should be sobering to all of us because you don't know when you may commit sinful activity. And it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what age you may be, because the soul has gathered samskara that we are not attempting to remove. Or we are like maybe not working diligently enough to remove. Sobering. Now the whole mechanism of how this happens is described is technical. It's Sankhya. Text 50. Panchabhi kurute swartha, panchavedatha panchabhi, ekastu shodashena trihim, swayam saptadasho smute. About the 5 senses of perception. Everybody knows the 5 senses of perfection, of perception. We know what they are. Above the five senses of perception, the five working senses, the five objects of the senses is the mind, the culprit. See that mind, it's like a screen. It's like a screen, and you project. You project the ideas on that screen. So, above the five senses of perfection, the five working senses, and the five objects of the senses is the mind, which is the sixth element. Above the mind is the 16th element. Above the mind is the 17th element, the soul, the living being himself, who in cooperation with the other 16 enjoy the material world alone. The living being enjoys three kinds of situations, namely happiness, distressful, and mixed. Mirabai, you want to read purport?
Hare Krishna. Everyone engages in work with his hand, legs, and other senses just to achieve a certain goal according to his concorded ideas. One tries to enjoy the five senses objects, namely form, sound, taste, aroma, and touch, not knowing the actual goal of life, which is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. Because of disobeying the Supreme Lord, one is put into material condition, and he then tries to improve his situation in concocted way, not desiring to follow the instruction of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nevertheless, the Supreme Lord is so kind that he comes himself to instruct the bewildered living entity how to act obediently and then gradually return home back to Godhead, where he can attain an eternal peaceful life, bliss, and knowledge. The living entity has a body which is very complicated combination of the material elements, and with this body he struggles alone as indicated in this verse by the words Ekastu. For example, if one is struggling in the ocean, he must swim through it alone, although many other men and aquatics are swimming in this ocean. He must take care of himself because no one else will help him. Therefore, this verse indicates that the 17th item, the soul must work alone. Although he tries to create society, friendship, and love, no one will be able to help him but Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Therefore, his only concern should be how to satisfy Krishna. That is also what Krishna wants. Sarvadharma parityajya mamekam sharanam. People bewildered by material condition tried to be united, but although they strive for unity among men and nations, all their attempts are futile. Everyone must struggle alone for existence with the many elements of nature. Therefore, one's only hope, as Krishna advises, is to surrender to him, for he can help one become free from the ocean of nations. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore prayed, I Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishmay Bhavan Kripya Tava Pada Pankaj Sthita Dhuli Sada. O Krishna, beloved son of Nanda Maharaj, I am your eternal servant, but somehow or the other I have fallen into the ocean of nations, and although I am struggling very hard, there is no way I can save myself if you kindly pick me up and fix me as one of your particles of dust at your lotus feet. That will save me. In a similar way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur sang, Anadik karme phale pade bhavar nave jale, taribare na dekhi upay. My dear Lord, I cannot remember when I somehow or the other fell into the ocean of nations, and now I can find no way to rescue myself. We should remember, sorry, we should remember that everyone is responsible for his own life. If his individual become a pure devotee of Krishna, he is then delivered from the ocean of nations.
I see, it's now stated, it's clearly stated that when we fall in this material body, which is made of so many elements, which is constructed in a particular way. And we have a mind, and a mind which is gathering all these impressions and creating ourselves, or rather covering the self with so many unrequired things, right? So he is alone. Here Prabhupada is saying from the verse itself that Atma is alone. So even though he tries to create society, friendship, and love, no one will be able to help him but Krishna, the Supreme Lord. Right? So, I get married, then I think my husband or my wife will take care of me. And then I think, then I have children, and then the children will take care of me, And then, no, we find that, no, the children will not take care of me. Then I think that maybe if I pay a servant, he or she will take care of me, right? Or maybe my neighbors will be kind to me. They will help me. And here Prabhupada is saying that although he tries to create society, friendship, and love, no one will be able to help him but Krishna. So it's like, so we are drowning in this ocean of this science, this material world, which is this science, ocean of ignorance. Although I'm struggling very hard, there is no way I can save myself. Actually, I'm your eternal servant. Somehow or other, I have fallen into this ocean of new science. Kindly pick me up and fix me as one of the particles of dust of your lotus. Anadi karma phale. Anadi karma phale. I'm getting the result of my own work. Pari bhavar nava jale. I have fallen in this ocean of cycle of birth and death. Tari barena dekhi upay. I'm not seeing any way. No upay. I just no upay to come out. So we need to wake up and realize and be serious. Very serious. Text 51. Tadetat shodashakalam lingam shakti trayam mahat atenu samskritim pumsi harsha shoka bhayatinam. Priya, are you able to read?
Translation.
Translation is endowed with 16 parts: the 5 knowledge acquiring senses, the 5 working senses, the 5 objects of sense gratification, and the mind. This subtle body is an effect of 3 modes of material nature. It is composed of insurmountably strong desires, and therefore it causes the living entity to transmigrate from one body to another, human life, animal life, and life as a giant. When the living entity gets the body of a demigod, he certainly very jubilant. When he gets a human body, he's always in lamentation. And when he gets the body of an animal, he's always afraid. In all conditions, however, he's actually miserable. His visible condition is called samsriti, or transmigration in material purpose. The sum and substance of material conditional life is explained in this verse. The living entity is the 17th element is struggling alone, life after life. This struggle is called samsriti, or material conditional life. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the force of material nature is insurmountably strong. Very high Ishadunanali Mama Maya Jnataya. Material nature harasses the living entity in different bodies. But if the living entity surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he becomes free from his infernal matter, as confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Not even Prabhupada Maya becomes Thus his life becomes successful.
So meaning here, we have been in Devlook, right? And we have become human beings also. Right now we're human beings. In previous lives, maybe we have been in Devlook, but we have exhausted the punya. So we come back in human form, and maybe if we do something very wrong, also we can fall down into animal life. We become dogs, we become anything, right? And again we come up. So that cycle is going on and on and on. But so this is called samsriti, or material condition, like this samsara, right? You see? Samsara. So this is samsriti. So the force of material nature is insurmountably strong. So see, it is very important when we are teaching, when we are guiding others, or somebody comes to us, we should not hesitate to warn the person that if you do not behave properly, you will lose the result of your punya. It is not guaranteed. It is not guaranteed that now I have a good situation, that I will continue to remain in this same nice situation. If we misbehave, it's like squandering away your money, right? This is punya is like your bank account, your spiritual, your karma good account. So you squander it away. Then when you become poor, and when you become poor, you get a lower birth. High birth as Deva, middle birth as humans, and bad birth as animal. So Prabhupada is saying this struggle, the living entity, the 17th element is struggling alone, life after life, right? So therefore, Krishna, when he places a jeev in the household of a person who has access to the Vedic literature, the duty of the parent is to tell that soul that you are not the body, you are the 17th element above the 16 elements. That you have a past life and you have a future life also. And you cannot fight against the law of nature. The force of material nature is insurmountably strong. Devi Esha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya. It's a fortress. You cannot surpass it. Material nature harasses the living entity in different bodies. Material nature harasses. If you are a woman, you have to suffer in this way. If you are a man, you have to suffer in this way. If you are a child, you have to suffer in this way. If you are a president of the country, you have to suffer this way. If you are a sweeper in the street of that country, you have to suffer this way. Right? Doesn't matter who you are, high or low. Man, woman, animal, anybody. Material nature harasses the living entity in different bodies. What to do? So I hope you're all feeling sorry now when you preach and advise people. Please chant, please read the book, please do seva for Krishna, and they say, no, 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 no. You give everything, right? How unfortunate here. How unfortunate. You give everything, they don't take. So therefore, prasadam is very important. Extremely important. Because the mind is made of food. And when you're giving the prasadam, You're changing the mind of this person so that his ears may open. His ears is directly connected to the soul. Sound. Connection between the material body and the spiritual body is sound. So we'll stop. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Krishna, thank you to you, Mataji.
Yeah, very intense, very intense. So we'll meet again. See, if I didn't have so many other classes because I'm taking other classes, otherwise every day I will do even complete this Bhagavatam. But I have classes every day. You know, I'm teaching Chaitanya Charitamrita because I have different groups, you know, and I would have just do it every day. Because it's very, I don't have time to complete that. We will see, you know, gradually wherever I'm able to fit in. We'll keep the same link. Whenever I have time, I will just send the link and we have to just speed up when whoever is able to come. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.